Test, 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 test. Hello. There we go. Hello. Hi. Oh, hold on. Wait a second. Start virtual camera. And voila. There we go. Hello. Hey. Okay. Camera's up. Let me get the other camera up real quick. Or real slow at this point. Which one's it called? I don't fucking know. Is it that one? No, it's not that one. Face. Oh. There we go. Okay. Face. Oh, Jesus. Whatever. Okay. All right, how's it going? So for today, is that loud? I think we're fine. All right, for today, right, we're gonna put Highbeam on this V2 right here. This will be super simple. I say that now, but it's probably gonna be really hard knowing me. And then you noticed I also got my Kaleido M2. It's very pretty, very heavy. God, it's heavy. I just need to go to the gym. So, might work on that. Still trying to get it to work off the ESP32 attached to it. It's not the fancy dual version. It is the legacy version that only came with the tablet. So I had either had to pay him $200 to get the software lock unlocked so they could use Artisan, or I could just use my own ESP32 and do it myself. So I did that way. And saved thousands of dollars. Well, I paid $800 for this. And this is like $700. Originally priced, I think it's like two something, 1,000 something. But we're gonna do some comparing, seeing which one tastes just as good or just as bad. But we'll start off with this one first. So I'm gonna set this up on Highbeam and show everyone how you can do it pretty easily with the Android tablet. This won't work with, this setup won't work with iOS yet. Mostly because I don't have an iOS iPhone. I don't have any real Apple products. Not that I'm anti-Apple, I've just been using Pixels for a while because I'm poor. Yeah. So this is the only way you can connect to Highbeam on a V2 is through an Android device because it still uses Bluetooth to connect to things. Bluetooth Classic, whereas the iOS devices, they use only BLE or Bluetooth Low Energy for safety reasons. They have their reasons to do it, so I won't knock them too hard. But yeah, but let me clear this out first. And the setup should be relatively simple. All right, clear off the chaff container. Let's focus on this machine right here. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll just say you already have your Highbeam set up. Already have your tablet set up, right? So let's go open this window capture. There it is. All right, So this is a Lenovo. It's one of the cheapest Lenovo tablets you could get at Best Buy. I think I got it for like 80 bucks. So you don't have to get the fanciest Android laptop out there. You can actually get one of these. This is a, I don't know if we'll start, but this is one of those MP3 digital music players. Let me get the camera going. I put Highbeam on this, and it worked. It's just a super small screen. But I think mostly with that can run Android, can run Highbeam. It's not very intensive software. And this is just a MP3 player with Android. I don't know what it won, the last OS or the one before that. All right, so we'll go ahead. I'm gonna close this off. All right. Check my audios. Okay, all right, so we'll go ahead, we'll open up Highbeam. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna turn that off. And then, so we usually sign up through Delta, so I'm gonna just delete this real quick. Delete device. All right. And then I got to plug this in. So I'll plug in my V2. I didn't plug it in yet. And then since you have to turn on the, you have to have the tablet turn on the Bluetooth, so you have to do that through the tablet. So let me go ahead and show you that. So here, you would just go to settings, and then you would go to see Bluetooth off, you just put it to on. All right, so we'll go back to Highbeam, and then what we want to do is we'll go to, we'll go ahead and add, we'll use a pointer. So you go to the plus sign, you want to go ahead and add. So you want to add, you want to go down the list. And then you want to look for Delta. I think I'll update the picture eventually, but But you want to go ahead and click on Delta or touch Delta, and then you want to look for AK Roaster, and that should come up. If you don't see it pop up, it might, because you might have tried connecting it without doing this before. You might want to go back into your like your Wi-Fi or Bluetooth settings and then remove AK Roaster from there, and so you can add it through the app instead. And all you have to do is hit add. It'll do the pairing, and then we'll go to complete. So it might say disconnected for a bit, so you just hit connect, see if you can connect it. It usually connects right away. The drum will turn on, and sometimes the heat will turn on, so what I like to do is I'll automatically just turn that heat off. You don't want that heat creeping up on you. Hit complete. All right. So we're basically now we're all set up for we're all set up to roast. So we'll go to device. Now let's go through some cool things you could do with Highbeam. So Highbeam made some big changes recently. One cool one I really like is the integration of Roastetta, which is some guy named Josh is like building it up. He built it up randomly, so you can get more people into roasting. So and you can upload logs and things like that. What the fuck? Okay. So what you do is hit switch, and then you could go to like the plus sign, and you can go to import from Roastetta. And I'll bring you to the website, and then you can look up all these different roasts. Like this guy did a roaster scope. I don't know what. We could check out what that looked like. He just has some generic name. You can kind of look through it, look through the graph, and then scroll down or wheel down, and you can see, you know, what kind of beans they were. So you connect it with the Kaleido, and also you can. he has this thing called roast feedback. Let me turn this off. So he has it called roast feedback. What this does is he's trying to get it to a point where it's helping people with roasting, but I think it's kind of a detriment because it just kind of feels like it's nagging. Like your dry phase is too short, your development time is too long, risk of flatter flavor. And if people who are starting off, they'll take this like really kind of seriously. Like you'll be like, oh man, I'm tasting my beans and they taste great to me, but it says here they might taste baked or flat of flavor, or the temperature's too high for whatever reason, or first crack occurred at a low temperature. It's kind of weird. Like this one too, especially for our units. Everyone knows our first crack runs around 181 to 185, and I think it's the same with Kaleidos. So Sloppy Josh is, that Skywalker looks a lot like a Kaleido. Yeah, everyone's pretty much just ripping off designs from either Kaleido, Smola. If Smola's newest one, it looks like it's approaching, trying to get into the Skywalker market where it's offering a roaster for sub $1,000, but it takes more from the Kaleido, I think, than it does with the Skywalker. Just the way the heat's set up. I'm actually getting one of those units soon, and I'll kind of show you what I mean. But it looks, the way the bulbs are set up is more like a Kaleido, and the way that yeah, mostly just the heat. The way it transfers heat to the beans is more like a Kaleido than less like a radiant heat roaster. It's more of convection. But anyways, so you can pick one of these roasts. Let's go look through them. I'll go import. We'll go scroll down, look at one we want to try. I did one for Timor-Leste. I got some more from Timor-Leste, but let's find something I have somewhere. I'm gonna see if I could follow. There's a guy on here named, I wonder if he's French, Talau. Yeah, this guy. I'm gonna try copying his roast, okay? So I'm gonna try to pick out let's see, what do we have? A Guatemala, an Ethiopian, and okay. I'll try to get something similar to it. I doubt it's gonna, whoa, Guatemala, I think Santa Ynez Catura. All right, so I'm gonna pick this one. It doesn't have to be this one. I actually only gave it a 3. Let's find something with a 4. Let's see if I have any Ethiopia. Brazil, Ethiopia dry process karate. All right. So I got the Ethiopia, and I should put on the camera. We're gonna try this one. We'll see how this tastes. I got the Sweet Mirror sample pack. I got a ton of these, so I'm trying to go through a lot of my beans. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll pick this Guatemala H1 Natural. This is a dry process, but we'll see how this works. So I can click on here, or touch it, look at his graph, see how he did it. And if I don't like it, I can always go back. Check out his other roasts. Let's see how he did with his other Guatemala. We only gave that one a 3. Maybe try to find an Ethiopia. Oh, I only have a little bit of that Ethiopia. Peru. Brazil. I got a Kenya. Also, the thing about getting like multiple different beans in a sample pack, it kind of doesn't really help develop your tasting palate, because you're tasting so many different beans and you don't really get a taste the changes of a roast. So if I were to do it all over again, I probably would just stick to one bean. Buy like 10 pounds of one bean and then keep trying to roast that until I get something I like. Try to understand it more and see what it tastes like at different roast levels. Another Kenya. Yeah, I'll just do a Kenya. We'll try this one. It's a Kenya, Orthia Mahiga. We're just gonna borrow a curve and see how it works. Oh wait, gotta go back. Go to Roastetta. Wait, I wonder what this Tinkster. What's he roasting on? A Kaleido? Okay. Oh, and then you can also, like, if you want to, you can go down the list and pick out what kind of roaster you want to that you're roasting on. So I might put Cyber Roaster, filter. It's probably just, yeah, it's Tilao. You put a Papua New Guinea one. Let's try this one. That looks like a decent curve. And then see, and then I don't know, the thing about the roast feedback too, it is the development time is long. Risk of baked or flat flavor. I mean, some people go up to 2 minutes on a after first crack, and that's kind of like their medium. I don't know. I think it's just, I feel like it's more catered to, right here, sorry, roast feedback. Development time is too long. I just feel like that's more catered to like the light roasters of us, where there's some people who actually like to roast dark. And they would argue that those more dark flavors, the toasty, the roasty, what was the other one? Bittersweet. There's flavors like that they might like when it develops a little bit better when you roast, or when you have first crack extended to like 2 minutes or something. And that's kind of important because first crack, that time there, it develops the color, and color is like 80% of the flavor. As per all those fancy folks on who've been roasting or doing roasting studies report, like, yeah, the taste is greatly, 80% of it's mostly affected by the color. And then first crack, development time, you know, that whole development time is where the majority of that color develops. All right, let's go ahead, we'll pick this. Well, in a quantifiable state, right? You want to, like, people usually follow the first crack and how much time it is to first crack, and then they'll drop it into the roast. So a lot happens when it comes to first crack. So anyways, let's get this Ethiopia Mocha Katempi, and then what you could do is just hit a log file, and then I'll load that up. Voila. And those are just his, like, where he ended up with TP, DE, and then dry end phase, and then first crack start. Total time is 10 minutes, 48 seconds. So let's create a copy. Confirm. Confirm. We can use that as a background roast. I don't know how well the bean temp tracking works. Let's go find that out. I guess we can find that on manual roasting when I do a preheat. So let me go to start manual roasting. I'm gonna do a target temperature of, well, we'll do 95. I'll confirm enable auto heating, and let's see if that works. Okay. It turned on. And here you can actually adjust the drum speed. So I'm gonna hit 80. Or you could do like 100. I don't feel like that slowed it down that much. Oh, it did. Okay. Just being dumb. Here. I'm gonna put it to, I'm not a fan of 100. I'll usually start off at just 80. I think you go lower with this one. I'm gonna go 70. And the artisan profile that they use, they kind of limit you from going lower than 80%. You can go down all the way to 50. I don't recommend it. Or you could go down to like, I'd probably drop it to like 70, maybe 75. And then for fan, I've been a fan. Dad joke. I was usually doing like 60 and above, because I think a lot of profiles they do 60 and above for the fan. But I'm just gonna drop it to like 30. A lot of people are saying try 30, and then you have a little bit more leeway if you want to like increase the fan speed to adjust your roast. You could start training yourself for that, but I'll usually keep it to the same fan speed setting. Yeah, you do want the you don't want it at 100. They should have for this one for I think for Highbeam on the community one, I think there's a way that we found to like lower it to 90 but say it's 100. I don't know if we took that out. I know I had that in there. A lot of the community firmware is like totally different now. I don't run that, but I think I told Will, and I think it's set up to where it doesn't go to 100%, but I got to double check with him. Because I wanted to just tell him like to set the max to 90. And I think we said that like a few months ago, but I'll double check if he did that. From my understanding, 100 is like 100% is 90%. You know what I mean? Like it, I don't know if that makes sense, but we just kind of lowered down. We offset it. He offset it, I believe. But if not, I'll just tell him. But yeah, you don't want it to be at 100 because it'll burn out the bulb a lot faster. And just how fast? I think there was a guy who was doing production style roasting on a V1, and he said it lasted like a month. But I guess he was cranking that shit out. That was crazy. Yeah. And that was a question from Ian Link. He was asking, do you want the heater at 100? On Artisan, it'll bump it all the way to 100 where the bulb is exactly at 100. I think I was talking with Will from Highbeam months ago, and I was like mentioning like if we could offset that to where the max on Highbeam would technically be 90%, so not 100% on the bulb. And I think he said he'd do that, but I'll double check. And if not, then he can always change it. Some of the cool stuff that he added, it's like we do start preheating, is when you hit charge. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. You could go and revert, go back a step. And that happens a lot. That's one nice feature. I think he has the preheat stuff working for most roasters. I don't know exactly if he has the preheat working. Well, he doesn't, because there's no hardware. Another big advantage of the Kaleido is that it does have. How do I explain this? It doesn't use software PID. It actually has it built into the. They have like a library of PID settings installed onto their board, where the V2 doesn't. V2 relies on a software PID. So the V2, it relies on software PID through Artisan to run all the like the automatic roasting stuff, all the PID roasting that people like really into. Whereas Kaleido, they actually have their own like PID library already on their board, because their board has like an ESP32 on there. It's all set up. They're probably using some kind of like, I will assume that they're using their own custom library, but they might be also using PID version 1 from like the Arduino library. So who knows? Yeah, because the way they handle Artisan is like they kind of like the communication between the Kaleido and Artisan. They have like a little bit of decoding and encoding to prevent people from like doing making their own controllers or controlling it through Artisan on their own. So it's kind of lame. I think the V1 and V2 would do the same thing if they had a chance. They just don't want to put that much effort into like something that someone's eventually going to break. Did hitting charge change your heater setting back? Does that revert, not set back? Let's see. So I went to 54, I'm gonna charge. Yeah, it turns it off, turns the pit off. So then you can just turn that back on. Hit 195, hit auto heating, turns back on. And it should go 0, then. Oh, I wonder if that didn't start it up again. 125. I wonder if we found a bug. Oh no, now it's just doing the PID stuff. Oh, because I set the PID to 195, okay. What drone is he using? 190. Well, it's adjusting it now. I'm wondering if it's adjusting the charge temperature to 192.8 versus 195. I'm gonna see if I could change this and see what happens. No, it's doing it by this number, by 205. Because if I lower it, see what happens if I lower it to like 185. It should lower it. Yeah, okay, it's lowering it. Where can you order backup heating elements for the best price? People are saying the iTop eBay store has the cheapest price shipped. Other than that, you have to go on AliExpress if you're international, and they'll have it for, I think it's been like 38, 40 bucks. Although there's now a Taiwanese, there's a Taiwanese vendor. He sells the really modified V1s, like crazy modifications, like dual bulbs and crazy bean cooling setups. And what he's doing is he's selling those bulbs, and I think they're around like 50. But instead of being far infrared, they're near infrared. And that's similar to what the roux-based roaster uses. A roux-based roaster uses a near infrared bulb that that supposedly enhances sweetness flavors of a roast. That's what they claim, instead of using far infrared. I don't know if that's a marketing claim, but I don't know. I don't have enough money to own a roux-based roaster, but there's not that many roux-based roasters in the US. I think for me, if I were to go want to like check out a roux-based roaster or see how they taste, I'd have to travel all the way to SoCal, to Fika Coffee. Southern California. I'm Northern California, Bay Area, Sacramento area. I'd have to travel to like Southern California to go to Fika. This is taking a kind of long. I'm not sure if I closed everything. This is taking a little bit to heat up. This is playing it safe. Oh, it detected that first. Oh, it's because I opened that thing. So I'll close it back up. So what I'll do is I'm gonna turn this off. That's off. I'm just gonna charge it myself. Into my music. What kind of roaster did you say uses near infrared? Roux-based. I'll spell that out for you, Ian. Roux-based. What? YouTube is not receiving what? Sorry, it's trash day. Oh, sorry. I'll turn that off. I think 220 it starts to beep. Let's see if we'll reach it. Are you still playing around with the M5 dial setup? I am. I'm just, a lot of more people got their V2s recently. Like, a lot of the group buy people got theirs. So I'm just kind of, I did a bunch of different setups. Like I'm doing one with, I did how to set it up with serial artisan, Bluetooth artisan over classic Bluetooth. And then I'm doing this one for Highbeam with the V2. Then I'm gonna step away from the V2, then go back to the V1 and turning it into a V2, but better. So that series is gonna include, you know, V1 adding your own, the same drum motor that the V2 has, but I'm adding it into a V1. Also adding, replacing the NTC probe with a legitimate like PT100 thermocouple. And then, what else am I doing? There's a bunch of stuff. And then adding the M5 dial stuff to it too. Oh, and then I was gonna get the near infrared bulb from Haha Sky. He's on the Discord. I was gonna get a bulb from him. And then there's another thing I was gonna do. What was it? Oh, I was gonna set it up because I bought an Airwave, so I'm gonna put Airwave on the V1. And then, oh, and I was gonna do like a DC controlled fan to do I'm gonna add one of these canisters. Let me see. This is a lot, just because a lot of people were complaining about when they do like 400 plus gram roasts, they're getting a lot of beans burning in the chaff collector. So I'm trying to involve this where I'll put like a DC fan on top to suck the air in, or a booster line to suck the air in. And then this will, you know, collect chaff from the bottom to put into here. And this is like 30 bucks or something. And yeah, it collects, I was kind of working on it with that, but it just collects chaff in there mid roast, but I want to put it on just briefly. So it, like if, maybe like midway in the roast, I'll just like, turn on real quick and then turn it off just so it just collects all that stuff and puts it in here just to help prevent, the chaff from burning. So that's another thing I want to add on to the V1. And, oh, and then the mod where you can change the bean cooling from like the small 4010 fans or 4020 fans to this enormous fan. I'll show you. And to just put this fan in the back to, I think I'll probably have it suck out all the air, so it cools it off that way. So that'll be one of the other projects once I'm done with all this. But there's a lot more going on too. I saw on some of your older videos had some M5 dial firmware that graphs. Okay, so Bear's putting that together. Just so I don't have a lot of things to work on, and to really get the community more into being open and having them participate. I'm definitely letting as many people as they want kind of work on their own firmware, and then we'll come together and see which one works well. And that's all volunteer. It's just that, you know, I was setting it up and there's people offering to help and they're actual programmers that can do it versus me. I'm just some guy vibe coding off of ChatGPT, trying to add stuff to it. He'll be putting out a new version eventually. I haven't like really, I don't like forcing people to give me updates on what they're doing because I'm not paying them anything. This is all coming from the kindness of their hearts. All right. Who's selling? Yeah, there's a guy, Ian Leak. There's a guy, his name is Haha Sky on Discord, and he's selling those bulbs. I'm actually buying like 20 or 30 of them to bring over here, and then hopefully I can see who wants them and try to sell them. I probably should get an LLC one day, but I don't want to. Not right now. But yeah, just sell them on Discord or something. I mean, I'm on Discord, the Facebook group, and yeah, it's a lot going on. Anyways, let's get to roasting on this thing. I think that's ample time to warm up. So let me get the charge temp to like 192. I'm gonna drop this down on 190. Yeah, feel free to reach out to Bear and say like, oh, I want to give it a test drive. It's cool. I really like using the M dial, and it works as a great backup too. Because I crashed my like I turned off my tablet during a roast, and you're able to control it and see the graph still with the M5 dial, which is really nice. He's still adding stuff to it. It's going to be really cool to see what he adds and puts in, takes out. He's been doing a lot. But yeah, feel free to reach out, play with it, tell me how you like it. I liked it a lot when I was playing with it. Just knowing that I could like have a disconnect and it won't be an issue. I also like that I can hook up a max amplifier and put like a PT100 on there. So change out the probe too. So let me see what's going on here. Here beeping. Okay. Oh, I should measure this. All right. Just spam something if the temperature starts going crazy. I'm gonna go grab my weight scale. Where did I put my scale? I always hunt for oh, there it is. It's always like the hunt for the Great October for my scale. So wow, how generous. So around 497 grams. Damn, it's almost 500 grams. All right, 497 grams. Okay, all right, I'm gonna get this roasted started. Why is it so low? Yeah, he must be being really gentle with the PID stuff on here. Preventing from overshooting, which I guess I get it. That makes sense if that's how if the PID is set up for infrared, and there's no beans in to absorb infrared light spectrum and to heat up. Because once you add something dark in there, then I'll increase the temperature. So I guess it does make sense for that to happen. Because of Planck's law and all that kind of stuff. Because we're not roasting up the temperature of the environment, or we're not roasting the beans with like convection. We're doing radiant. radiant heat absorption. All right, let's go back to, I got a wireless mouse. Let's go back and I'm gonna, all right, we're gonna go back and we're going to look at this window. There we go. Okay. So make sure, of course, before you roast, all things are closed up. Make sure this is closed up. Don't have that face pointing up the whole roast, because you can actually have a trier fire. I've had one. So if you leave it up like this, if you don't turn it, yeah, it can lead to a trier fire. Make sure this is closed. This is the top thing that a lot of people forget to do is don't close it, and then they forget to close it or lock it, and the beans spill out. Make sure that's in there. Make sure this is in there. All right, so looking good. I'm gonna keep the drum at 75, fan at 35. We are gonna put the beans in. I'm gonna see if auto charge works. I'm gonna see how well PID works on this. I don't know how it's set up, if it's using the same settings. We can also double check to see if there's like, if you could change those settings. Let me see. Device settings, RR control, software PID settings, yeah. Oh, cool. So he does let you change them. That's awesome. All right, so this is the software PID settings, not hardware. So right now, the Delta is using software PID. This is something that Will added. I don't know what library he's using. He was using Bang Bang for a while, which is on-off heat control, which is terrible. Not terrible, it's not really great for auto roasting. What you want is PID. Bean temperature tracking is what we're gonna do, because we're gonna try to shoot for, we're gonna see how well the software PID roasting works with this. And we'll see if we could follow this graph. All right, we'll hit start preheating. All right. 84 is kind of low. I want to shoot for 199. I don't want to raise it up. We'll see what it does. You know what? Let's toss it in there. It's gonna hover around 184, 186. See how it does from here, all right? Well, it's getting higher. So the PID, software PID, it's only managing the bulb in terms of the heat. It's not doing anything fancy like modulating the fan speed. One of the things that really helps manage PID is if you were to control the inlet temperature, like inlet fan, like air going into the unit. We don't have that. I don't think we could set one up. I think maybe we could set one up, but I'm not sure. But I just don't know where I would set an inlet fan. Honestly, I'd probably maybe set up an inlet fan where it enters into the front of here and cools off, like blows air across the bulb. Just to kill two birds with one stone, but I don't think that's a good way of modulating your PID control, especially when the beans are at the exact opposite corner of the bulb. But we'll wait till this gets to 190. And let's go back and look at it. So with this, I'm gonna try my best not to change anything, but if the roast goes to shit, I will probably change like the heater settings and everything. But right now I'm gonna maintain the fan at 35, drum at 75, and then we'll do heater at whatever it does for the PID settings, all right? So this is auto roast with software PID. So I'm not touching it. I'm just gonna let the A-log run its course, and I will take control if anything were to change drastically. Mind you, this is a totally different bean. It's within the African area, I guess. But I still will change things like, you know, event tagging, dry end phase, first crack. So there are two different ways you can do automatic roasting. There's one that's called event tracking, which you can have it read the last roast and see what adjustments you made with that exact same roaster. And then there's bean temperature tracking, which is basically PID software. And that's the one most people are really interested in. So what are we at? 110. All right, still wait. Yeah, auto roasting's kind of boring. There's not much to talk about. If anything, I know it's not following the bean temperature, but the ROR doesn't look terrible. So next phase we'll be looking at is the dry phase, right? Basically what you're looking for is as it went from green to yellow. And different people have different ways of saying when it hits dry phase, but usually the common way is saying if it's any speck of green, it hasn't hit dry phase yet. So that's still a little greenish, so I'll leave it in there. Maybe check out in another degree or so. And I'll pull it out. Smell it. Smells like hay. Put it in, so I'll put dry end. Next phase now is the big one. And it looks like it's expecting first crack at like 193. It might be. We'll check it out and we'll see. Depends on what time this bean has first crack at. We're on 67. We should be hearing first crack soon. Once it hits around 180s, that's usually when first crack hits. Let me check if that's FedEx. Hold up. I'm gonna sign off something real quick. I'll be right back. Yeah, I live here.
6 p.m. I can have some.
Lloyd, Galang.
Everybody go, why are we doing this Saturday? Well, it's also Flag Day, and a lot of people are pointing to it's Trump's birthday. And he's going to sit there on his birthday, and a lot of people
Awesome.
have this big
Thank you, sir. Okay. Oh, first crack. First crack. Oh, what the heck? It's not good. I don't know why I hit drop right there. Yeah. I have to look back at what happened. I'm supposed to hit the first crack button. No, I was supposed to go back. Then I went to complete log, so I gotta show it. I gotta figure out what happened with that one. Oh, I think I wanted to end the roast at that time, but it was so low. I probably should have took it off of that heat setting. All right, I'm gonna drop it. All right, we gotta do another roast. I'm fucked up. Turn the fan on in here, or turn the heater off. And we'll blow out all the air. If you want to do another batch, you could always hit the heater on, or you could hit back to target temp, and then put it back to like 195 to enable auto heating. And that would allow you to like maintain like the chamber temperature that you want it to, you know, kind of be at 195. Oh shit. Oh. While this is cooling off, we're going to look at some settings. I just realized, I'm stupid me, I forgot, I think I need to turn on the ET environmental temperature probe. Let's see. Display drum speed label, fan label, don't need to do that. ROR setting, smooth ROR. Wonder Skywalker Delta should be somewhere around here. Auto tagging, temp offset. Ah, I should have did this. Beam time offset. Oh well. There should be a setting where I can activate environmental environmental probe. Could have sworn he added that in there. Oh, I'll have to double check with him about that one. Because I was using environmental temperature probe for monitoring for warm up. It's still freaking hot. Let's close that. Yeah, it's detecting ET, environmental temperature, beam temperature. If it's your first time using, oh, maybe it's in that setting. Hold on. Haptic temperature unit. If you want to change your temperature to Fahrenheit and Celsius, you can do it here. I keep it to Celsius. Okay, if you ever want to upload your logs, that's within the developer section, or if you want to do enable device control terminal. This is for this part. The neat part about this is you can add custom controls if you were to do something a little bit more custom, like turn on an external fan somewhere. Program that in your Arduino, and you could turn on a fan to say to like suck out all the chaff out of your chaff drawer. You can do that too. I'll double check with Will and see what he says about adding environmental temp, because it's there. And I think this is still under beta, so you probably, maybe forgot to add it or something. Anyways, we're gonna try another bean. I got more, I'm gonna try to 2 back-to-back roasts, okay? We're gonna do this Kenya that I got. I'm gonna do a manual one, and then I'm gonna see how it does with PID control and then heat tracking. About cooled off. Take this out. Oh. All right, so goal for this time is now we're gonna do 350 gram batches. I'm gonna do one manually, then I'm gonna try to copy it and do one, I'm gonna do one with bean heat tracking setting, okay? Always remember, empty out your chaff bin. highly recommend getting one of these, just like a little fan to blow out all the chaff. So I'll just like I'll blow out all the chaff from there. We'll go to manual now. So let me see if I could turn off background. Do I want a background roast? Can I just keep it blank? Right. So I'll just do a default profile, which just leaves no notes. I'm going to do a blank curve for now. We'll go to start manual roasting. Set that to here. Put the drum to 70. I'll put it to 100 first. Make sure it's spinning. And then 70. Good. We're going to wait till that heats up to about, I'm going to do 200. No, let me measure out how much beans I want to put in. So that's kind of managing there. I'm gonna go over here, lay out some beans. So I'll do 350 grams. I know some countries they'll sell beans like by kilogram bags. So I think some people recommend it even doing, just to make calculation easy, doing like 333 grams. God damn it. Oh, fuck. I gotta replace the bag. I destroyed that hole. All right. Let me turn the bean cooling off on here. I'm gonna take this off auto heating. Put the heater. I'm gonna go 90 today. I'm gonna try to go fast with this roast. Start the preheat. I'm gonna stop auto heating. So I'm gonna get it to 90. Then I'm gonna drop the beans in. Oh, I'm gonna bring this to 30. That's at 70. I'm gonna drop them in. Charge. All right, so around maybe the 3.5, 4 minute mark, I'll probably do my first temperature drop. Oh, let's go to here. There we go. So I'm at 90. This is kind of high. What I should have did was probably maybe set it at 70. Maybe at a minute and a half, keep raising it up till it reaches 90 and then lowering it back down at the 3 minute mark from there. So things you could try, play around with. This is going by real fast. This is gonna be a real quick one. I just realized how fast the heat was creeping up. I'm gonna drop it here. I guess it's been warming up for so long. I didn't realize it would hit 165 so fast. I'm gonna try to like elongate this as much as I can. I said I want to go fast. I think I went a little too fast. We're gonna wait for first crack first. There's one crack. There it goes. First crack. I'm gonna lower this again. We're gonna keep the fan on, Josh, as long as the fan on the same one as long as we can. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do next. This is probably like it's barely flickering at this point, and then I'm just gonna have to start increasing the fan, which is kind of the good part of starting out so low. I'm gonna get this to like a minute 45. Still popping. That's a big crash. Oh shoot. Stop. I did a Nordic roast. It's gonna be interesting. I want to see how this one tastes. It's been preheating for a while, so it has all that built up thermal inertia from the last roast and me just leaving on the heater, so that's probably why it went so fast. Then I put it at 90, so. All right, I'm gonna show you, yeah, we got enough time. So now I'm gonna do the same roast, but at 300, using the, what's it called, the event tracking. And if I have enough time, I'll try to see if I can just have it do it by PID. Drinking a lot of Kenya this week. So another 350 gram batch. We'll put this back on. We'll put this back to 30. Let this cool a bit. Let me agitate this a little bit. Okay. Get another tray. We're gonna do this roast next. That's going on. We'll do another blowout. Put this back in. What do we charge it? 90? All right, another one in. So that's at 210. I'm gonna drop that down. Kenny, 350. Just gonna put it real fast. 8 min. 8 minutes in like 15 seconds or something. I don't know. Confirm. All right, I'm gonna exit this log. Yes. We're gonna set that as the reference roast. Auto roasting. We're gonna go for heat power tracking. Airflow, drum rotation, according to the roasting plan. Okay, I know. Okay, we'll start preheating. And this is where an environmental temperature probe would have came in real handy right now. And later I got a bunch of new toys that came in today, so I'll show some pictures of that later. Not roasting toys. All right, I'm gonna dump these beans in. Charge. Should start at 90. I don't know why it's at 100. Hello? I'm home. Sorry, had to take a call. Yes, no name. That is a M2. Which one? The how did you get? Oh, the M2? I bought it from somebody used a while ago. What the hell? Did I pick beam tracking mode? I think I must have. I haven't fixed the, it's a legacy one, so it doesn't have Artisan with it. He bought it with just the Kaleido tablet. So now I am, so I'm trying to add that on. I've been working on the like putting in like the proper, I'll share you the stuff later. Super secret stuff regarding that. I got some stuff I'll show you. I got some tea that I want to show you later. I got some tea we could giggle about later. Can't disclose it now. It's super private. See, it's kind of following it now. I thought I put it on. I thought I put it onto event tracking, not heat tracking. I need more sleep or something. Well, guess we're gonna have to do event tracking next. Well, after I pick up my kid later. Oh, that's first crack. Oh, I didn't even tag events. Fuck. Yes, I got distracted. Tisk tisk. And now I gotta just throw away this whole batch. Just gonna toss it. I will never know the development phase. Thus that this roast is trash now. I got like a kilogram of beans. This is gonna last me a month. I'm not gonna roast for a month. I'm gonna get rusty again. But on the plus side, the PID is working pretty good. I think I just have to get the right charge temperatures next time. What did I drop it at? 1 minute 45 seconds or something? Yeah, that'll do. I'm sure they're fine. I'm sure they're delicious. Okay, heater, you could turn off now. You know, if I didn't butcher that drop, because it says I charged it at 170, I thought I charged it at 190, 200, or 190. Oh God, I can't remember. Maybe I was supposed to charge it at 2. It drops, then it reads it at 190. I thought drop is as soon as you open the chute and then let the beans in. But I guess maybe when all the beans drop and then you press charge, and that's the drop. I gotta look at it. So these are supposed to be looking light. I think being at 90% really aggroes the beans. That has a lot of facing. Looks like some tipping. We'll see how it tastes. Because now I have a quantifiable way of making sure I have a consistent pour over now. Before I was doing my own V60. Now I got this bad boy over here. Nope, that's a printer. That's a vacuum. I got this. This is where all my trash goes. Ta-da! X-Blue. Because every time I would like do a roast, I would be like, they keep tasting different. It was the same bean. Like I would do it with the AeroPress, and I'd be like, oh man, this tastes exactly the same. Or this is a totally different bean. Or it'd just be different. Like I would try to do in the same bean. It wasn't working out. I thought I had a good AeroPress recipe, which was pretty consistent, but some lighter roasts seem to work better on the X-Bloom. And the X-Bloom, I don't know, I just feel like it does a lot better when I try, the more citrusy flavors pop out when I do lighter roasts with those kind of beans. I was only convinced because I had a co-ferment at one of my local cafes, and they recently started using this and just charging $6 a cup, and minimal work for their workers who don't have to do all that fancy pouring and all that kind of stuff. And it came out with a pretty good cup of coffee. and I could just, because I had that same bean from him, and I tried doing it myself on an AeroPress, and I couldn't get the citrusy flavors I got. But when I got the X Bloom, it's like, oh, well, shit, that's what I was missing. I should probably turn down the ISO on this. And then focus on here. There it goes. Anyways, we'll go back to the roast. Just my other toy I got. I mean, my machine I need to do for roasting, for tasting and cupping. I gotta go back in the settings. I need to look at what I did wrong. Let's see, auto roasting, heat power tracking, bean temp power tracking. Recreate the heat power adjustments, airflow, and drum rotation according to the roasting plan. That's what I clicked. Automatically. I gotta play with those again. Let's see what happened. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to look back through my video, but I'm pretty sure I clicked bean temp tracking, and that's supposed to only change the heat manually, like what you changed it manually. Like if it was at 90, it starts at 90, and it drops to 65, it'll drop to 65 at 3 minutes and whatever seconds. But this one, it felt like it was doing that with the fan, but it was pretty much PID with control with the bean temp probe and the lamp. So I'll have to look at that again. We'll have to do another roast with that. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna taste all these. I know people say you gotta wait a day or two to really develop the flavors. I think it's a lot better if you just taste it, and then you get to see what the flavor develops into the next day. And I feel like it's a good thing to kind of see how that flavor tracks over time. What I like to do is I like to just do it the day of, day after, and then maybe rest it a day, try another bean, and then maybe 3 days after, a week after, 2 weeks after, and I still have some left over for like a month after. Especially if they're ultra, like by really, really light roast, I'll try that a month out and see what changed. Another good thing I probably should do is I should really log these. Like I should taste and have like a little diary of me drinking coffee and scribbling this down, because now that I think about it, every time I do a month out, I'm like, well, what did this taste like before? But when I was doing, you could really tell the difference between day of and day after. But the biggest one was on like maybe like 3 or 4 days after. It's like, oh, it really brings out the flavors. Although there's one time I brought it out like 4 days after, and I was like, oh, this is really starting to taste like shit. Like, I don't know why. It wasn't a weird co-ferment. It was like some Robusta. It was so bad I didn't want to like use it for espresso. Well, anyways, thank y'all for staying and watching as long as you could. I'm gonna go pick up my child, and but if you have any questions, concerns, if you have a V2 and you want to roast with me one day, or if I could roast with you, that'd be great. I'm not a master roaster or anything. I just have a shitload of these machines, and I want more people roasting at an affordable price. There's also something about messing with the V1 I really like, but in terms of mods. But yeah, if you want to come on stream with me and show me how you roast, and I could try roasting that same bean with you, I think that'd be fun. Or if you just want to chat with me and have someone to talk to, and you got a mic, I'd be appreciated. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. A few things that are coming up. Nova Roast is coming out pretty soon. Like, I expedited a shipping with Vanessa, see if she could send it to me real quick. Like, I paid for air shipping because I really want to play with the new Nova roaster. I need a smaller roaster. I keep running 350 gram batches and fucking them up or something and tossing them. Maybe it'd be better if I had a little bit smaller roaster. And then I'm really excited about that one because it's the same board as the V1. So everything I did with Highbeam, everything I did with ESP32s, Arduino, everything we did with the Arduino Nanos, it all should work with it. So it'll be interesting to see that. I also want to see how they're managing their new air turbo roast. They said something about modulating the beans or doing something, agitating the beans with a fan and a drum. So we'll see how that plays out. And then another roaster I'm getting is a Schmola. They're competing in the same price as a Skywalker V1, but they are, their whole heat setup is pretty much similar to a Kaleido. Fans on the outside of the drum, mostly convection based. Yeah, so they're doing that. Or ours is a radiant, there's a bulb in the middle, and that's not middle, like off center to the right, top right. And our bulb is warming up the beans that way with a radiant heat. So two different types of ways of heat. So I kind of want to compare the Schmola to a Kaleido, because Kaleido is it's like $500 compared. It's pretty much the same price as like a V, or similar price to like a V2, I think, but cheaper. Similar price to a V2, cheaper than a Kaleido, and better quality material than a V2 in terms of like no plastic front, a lot of metal, and a legitimate motor that they're using a belted system for. So I'm very interested in seeing that and how that does with PID. That's going to come with Highbeam already installed. And then that eventually the kilogram roaster is going to come out, and I'll see if I can get my hands on that. Because it'd be nice to go transition from starting off really small batches, doing bigger batches on the V1 and V2, and then legitimate production roasting on a V, whatever the hell they're gonna call this one, V1 kilogram. Yeah, thanks man. I picked up a V1. Good job. I like the V1. Kind of like the V2. I'm just mad that they didn't add certain things. Like, it felt like it was promised, but they didn't really specify. One of the big things I don't like about the V2 is I thought there was going to be, and this is a me issue, I thought there was going to be a hardware PID implementation, like within the system. And by hardware, I mean embedded within the board, not having to use software, which takes longer and causes lag and all that other blah, blah, blah stuff. They didn't end up doing that. So I felt a little shafted on that part. And then I realized the V2 is basically a V1 with the new drum motor and no controller board. So it's all right. It's still cheaper than a Kaleido. Not saying you shouldn't buy a Kaleido. If you got the money to buy a Kaleido, feel free to buy it. But you don't have to buy it. It's not a have to purchase. There's other options at the lower end now. And there's a lot more Chinese roasters are coming out on the lower end. In terms of price. And a little bit of quality. Okay, I'll tell you right now, V1, V2, their quality does not compare anything to a Kaleido. Kaleido is really well built, very heavy. This is like, I don't know, I guess this would be like a... If I were to say the Alio Bullet would be like a Ferrari, this would be like a, oh, like a BMW. So, oh, let's go back over here. So, before I pick up my boys. So yeah, if we look at these, actually no, it would be Lamborghini, maybe. Maybe Bullet is a Lamborghini. No, Bullet is like a Ferrari, and then Lambo doors, so maybe Lamborghini. And then this would be a Honda Civic, the tricked out ones with the spoon engine, AE86. random words. So yeah. There's more roasters coming out. I'm hoping the Nova roaster will be like a Mazda Miata. Got a Arduino. That's a fun project. Oh, geez, I gotta go. All right, anyways, I'll see y'all later.